Who was Jesus in the history? How did he go up against empire?
Jesus' ministry involved letting people know they didn't have to be defined by violence of empire, among other things. But I'm particularly attracted to people who read in the Jesus story a refusal to participate in the violence of empire. Refusal to participate religiously, refusal to even to participate economically. And there was a great scene in the Bible. It's the scene that Christians celebrate the week before Easter. It's called Palm Sunday. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but Jesus and his followers march into Jerusalem from the Mount of Olives, and when they do, they wave palm fronds and people celebrate. Here comes Jesus, the King, and the local people in Jerusalem, the religious and political leaders in Jerusalem are like, "Shh," because they don't want the Romans to get pissed. And because it's a very real concern. A few decades later, that kind of rebellious attitude, or the rebellion that Jewish people put up against the Romans ended tragically for Jerusalem and elsewhere. So it was a very real concern. But some scholars that I like have written a book where they talk about Jesus coming in, mocking the empire. Well, the Roman Empire, it's the start of Passover. So at the beginning of Passover, the Roman, the local Roman governor would always show up with his army to make sure that nobody was inspired by the story of the Exodus from Egypt to start a rebellion. And so the Romans would show up with their army, military force, and Jesus, without any kind of arms or any kind of violence, starts making fun of the Romans. Not to fight them, but just to tell people we don't have to live under this control. Our souls can be free, our persons can be free, even if our country can't. And I love that because I know now I can't escape militarism. Every dollar I spend on groceries gets taxed, and some of it's going to go to fund the war in Iran. Everything. It's impossible to get away, but I don't have to be defined by it. I'm an unwilling participant in the violence of empire, but I don't have to let that define who I am in my deepest soul. And that's kind of what I get at it. That's what I'm learning from Jesus as a Christian pastor.